this is a funny thing, I think, that we've got it on here, but we have blurred it.
I don't know why we've blurred it. It's not banned in Ireland, right? Anyway, it's been blurred. That's the ad, and that was
And
what was
that's
on
probably
online.
the problem, is it? Is that we don't know, should it be blurred or not?
Well,
What
no,
do you
it's not
think,
banned
Linda?
here. It's not banned in Ireland, but it wasn't released in Ireland.
Yes. I mean, I think it shows you, doesn't it, the controversy that arises when women's bodies are displayed in public. And you can see, you know, first of all, this is full of contradictions. So, you know, we're supposed to live in a kind of a, you know, post-Catholic society where there's less taboo, less shame, you know, about our bodies and so forth. And yet something like this appears and, you know, there are huge objections to women displaying their naked bodies. So I think, you know, it's interesting, you know, there was a reaction in terms of explicit nudity on the one hand, but then on the other hand, others saw this as a very sort of empowering kind of image because, first of all, the ad was aimed at women. You know, it was advertising a product for women. It wasn't really within those sort of stereotypical, exactly, very narrow definitions of what a
There was
breast
a woman
is.
who had a mastectomy within the ad.
Absolutely. So in that sense, I suppose it was empowering in the sense that it displayed that diversity, but it is advertising a product, and I think, you know, another objection was that perhaps...
Was it advertising a product? I mean, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Because, so they were saying the Advertising Standards Authority ruled that the creative was being used in an untargeted fashion rather than the creative itself and the message. So is that saying that it wasn't actually showing a bra, even though it was an ad for bras? Do you know what I mean? Because that's what I don't understand when they're talking about why the ASA has made this ruling.
I think the argument was that it was more about the breasts than the bras. So there was
But
less
that's
focus.
not really what the ad is about.
No.
Well, it is.
kind
It's
of
a
is, I
sports
suppose,
bra.
isn't
It's
it?
about boobs.
It is. But it's also about, I suppose, challenging that idea of there being, you know, there's a whole thing around sort of women being bound throughout history. And, you know, whether it's bras or all the things that women used to wear sort of 100 years ago.
Linda, you go in the door, you take that, but we all do it. We all do it as soon as we're done for the day. Take that thing off.
Exactly. So it's so it kind of fits with that. So these products were not within that kind of bound idea of women. They were actually based on comfort and the idea that, you know, you can have small breasts or big breasts or whatever, health issues around your breasts as well. And that there were so many different types of this product as well. So it really was taking the diversity idea, you know, as far as possible in terms of marketing. Yeah.
The fact is, and I do think that we live in a world whereby breasts have been sexualised for centuries. And sometimes we're asking men to catch up with us in a certain way that might be very hard.
Yes.
You know,
Do you think, though, that if they do let it, boobs be out, whatever else, companies will capitalise on that?
Yes, absolutely.
And use it in a sexualised way, though?
But not...
Do you know, not like Adidas haven't. Adidas have done this for a good way of doing it.
But they've been sexualised for years. Remember
But
the Wonder Bra?
Yes, but things will... Exactly. So imagine what will happen then if they get the opportunity to take things on another step.
But they've had page 3 for a year. It's been sexualised for decades. The Wonder Bra, they had press releases. It's caused car crashes.
Yes.
When Eva Herzegovina was there with the big
bra,
billboard.
what would it be then?
What?
Imagine what it'd be like without the bra.
I mean, madness.
Well, exactly. This is what they're
More
worried
car
about.
crashes.
Yeah,
But it depends, because there's an ideal construction of beauty as well. So it might be Eva stops the cars, but will they portray women in all their diversity? You know,
but I don't think
this is unusual.
Exactly.
I don't think a man was paying attention to that ad. Certainly for me, I was, because I thought it was amazing to see something different that you don't see every day. We're not going around showing each other, you know, each other's breasts all the time. And I was like, oh, look, there are different boobs in the world than these fake ones that are put in our faces.
I think the reaction as well, perhaps, of some women to it around what might be, what some would call extreme nudity. Now, I don't consider those images extreme nudity, but shows the way in which women are socialised into having to kind of almost, control their own bodies as well, so that the responsibility is on women to not display their bodies, and that's somehow when women's bodies are displayed in this way, that kind of criticism.
But we have to understand that men can be uncomfortable as well. Like, that there has to be a line.
Some women.
And women can be comfortable.